Hey there, Brian Jackson here to spend a few minutes talking with you about Promethio, a new mobile powered blockchain that will harness Web3 technology and will empower the next generation of predictive AI, security, and business applications. A little bit about me. I have been working in technology for over 2 decades, and that includes a variety of experiences. I began building my first computers and networks for businesses around me. I have worked with a large number of businesses ranging from Fortune 100 and Fortune 50 companies all the way down to small mom and pops and startups. I have managed hundreds of projects in complexity from simple tasks to highly complex ones. And I have a team that I've built over the years of highly skilled and experienced developers, designers, system architects. If they work in technology, there's a good chance that I have access to one, and they have an excellent track record of success. So, what is Prometheo? Let's talk first about that. And it's something that's a little different from what you may have seen out in the world of blockchains and cryptocurrencies. It's really designed and focused on massive user adoption, which empowers the services that Prometheo will provide, and also provides a layer of redundancy, reliability, and added security that really makes this a unique concept and something that will just grow in strength and power as users join and as technology in smartphones improves. So this really is something that you won't see anywhere else. We are integrating pieces of blockchain with new Web3 distributed technology, including some torrenting in there for file management, as well as some new peerless connectivity protocols that we're designing. And all this sits in a mobile experience that sits right there on your phone. And as you know, phones are powerful. They're as powerful as laptops were just a few years ago, and some of the latest phones are as powerful as laptops today. And we're going to leverage that processing power when users aren't using those devices to really maximize the return on their investment. They spent good money on that phone, but also to leverage, once again, the processing power. And as we grow, if you want to consider a phone to be like a cell in a brain, the more cells that we have, the more power we can perform. And it's an exponential increase because as we hit certain milestones in volume of active users, we can enable and enhance additional features such as predictive AI. And because this is truly distributed, it really empowers us to have a redundancy and security level while leveraging the anonymity of our individual users all in a single unified platform. And to really create value in the Prometheo services that are provided, we're going to be providing real value. And these will be things like business functions that they need to operate. And there's a lot of people out there and a lot of businesses that provide certain services. But if that business were to be hacked, attacked, go out of business, these companies would be left in a lurch. Just think about something like DocuSign. A lot of businesses use contract management as an essential piece of their day-to-day business. If they had to go back to pen and paper and lose all the digital data that they had already recorded, they would have problems. And with Prometheo's decentralized network, we can leverage that security issue, that redundancy issue, and we can really enhance that whole business practice by using this new technology. So we are going to add and continue to grow the services that are being offered by Prometheo over time. And the larger the network, the more complex of services we can provide. But we're going to start by providing things like secure messaging. Think about Telegram or WhatsApp, but this won't be run by an individual or a single corporation. This will be distributed across the network, all anonymously. We'll be doing encrypted file storage. We're going to be working on digital escrow. So if I have a contract and I want to work with a third party, I can put the Prometheo token PROM in a escrow account so that the person providing services can see that that is there. And once those services have been completed, the escrow is released. Digital contracts, we talked a little bit about that. That would be like DocuSign and businesses managing this. all without the need directly for the app. They can use decentralized APIs that we're going to build, which will empower them to do these and integrate them directly into their business process. We're going to be using data analysis and then finally predictive AI and combining those together to take large and complex data sets and find patterns that may not be recognizable. And back to my analogy of a brain, the more cells we have, the more nodes we have on our system and our network, the more powerful we will be able to operate and the more robust services we'll be able to provide. One of the things I'm really excited about is this predictive AI and what we will be able to do once we hit a certain level of scale. And the higher we get, the better we do. The benefit is directly towards our users. Everybody is a single user at a single node on the network, and I think that matters. I don't want there to be a big obstacle to adoption with this. I don't want you to have the fanciest smartphone to be able to be a part of the Promethio network. If you've got a smartphone, we want you to be able to take advantage and be part of the next big thing. So there's a couple of reasons that I believe Promethio will be incredibly successful, even with the current climate of fear with cryptocurrency, with increasing regulations of cryptocurrency. What we are building with Promethio is not so much of a currency as a time tracking and processing tracking token that can be redeemed for value. Because just like in the real world, if you were to go purchase cloud services, you would be paying for the processing time, power, and storage of an individual computer on a cloud network. Same thing applies here. The money, not the money, but the cryptocurrency slash tokens, the Promethio tokens that businesses use to perform these services go back to the end user. So it's a really unique concept and leverages a lot of important elements, which we're going to go over here right now. So one of the first reasons I believe Promethio will be incredibly successful is that crypto is already established in the universe. Yes, there's some disruptions now, but the value of Bitcoin is still firm and solid, and people have seen the value, yes, going up and down and up. And yeah, there's been a lot of roller coaster rides when it comes to values. But the truth is, Bitcoin was worthless. It was worth less than a penny when it started. And now, no matter what you can say, it's still worth a lot of money. And people have seen that. And I think that impacts them. There's oftentimes a fear of missing out. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit. One of the other big reasons that this will be successful is there's really no cost to participate in the Promethio service. So in the Promethio network, if you let us utilize your processing power when you're not using it, then we're going to compensate you for it. And we don't need any money from you, and we don't need anything. And you can tell us how much you'd like to let that happen. If you want to only be active on the network for a few hours a night when you're sleeping, that's totally fine. And we're going to make sure that in our marketing tools and programs, we are hammering home that there's no obligation, there's no cost to this. And right now, users can pre-register to be on the network so that they are first in line when we begin to add new people, because we obviously won't be able to just roll the network out with every single person who wants to be a part of it. So there is a sense of urgency, and the sooner you sign up to be a member of the network, the faster you will have the opportunity to participate as we scale. We talked about this. I just want to reiterate the fact that if you've got a smartphone, that's really all you need to be able to join this network. And the system is designed to be intelligent enough to know if you are not using your phone and you're above a certain level of battery and all these things are customizable by you, then you make yourself accessible on the network. And this uses a very low amount of power because the largest element on your phone that drains battery is, pop quiz, the screen. The screen is what eats up most of your battery, and since our services are strictly using the processing power of your phone, that is an unnecessary drain on the battery. So the drain is very low, and your data is never accessed. There's a small partition that the app creates of a little piece of memory, and the more you offer, the more Promethio you can earn. But as that is partitioned off, that's the only piece of real estate in your phone that the Promethio network has access to. We don't want to know your name. We don't want to know your phone number. We don't want to know your location. All these things by making you anonymous increases our level of security. If there's no way for a person to identify who you are or where you are, then it's hard for them to even begin to identify what information you may have that's on the network. So this is a really powerful way of compelling people to say, "Hey, you've already got a smartphone. You paid a bunch of money for it. Why don't you maximize that investment right there?" And getting in early matters, and once again it comes down to the fact that we will not be putting everybody on the network at once. So the sooner you're on the network, the faster you or the sooner you pre-register, the faster you'll get the opportunity to be part of that network. And once again, we're not asking for any money from you. We're not asking for any investment. This costs you nothing. And if you decide after pre-registering that you don't want to join the network, then you have nothing to lose. So there's really no reason that you shouldn't at least put yourself on the list. And if you share this with others, you are going to get the opportunity to reserve additional tokens before we even launch. So when you pre-register, you're going to get a small number of tokens, and for every additional user that you tell about Promethio and they pre-register, they're also going to get a small amount of tokens. And this is really designed to drive, once again, that pre-registration number so that as we begin to launch the network and we begin to grow our node bases, we have a good number of pre-registered users that we can just begin to activate. So this is all architected to bring referrals, to get people to be part of the network. More people means more power and more opportunity. And there's, once again, no cost, no data sharing, none of the risk that would be involved in anything else. And I think at this point, there is that fear of missing out that I mentioned briefly earlier. People have seen the crypto prices go up and down, but if you could go to sleep, let your phone do some work for you while you're sleeping, and wake up and have a little bit of crypto in your pocket, why wouldn't you do that? I know I would, and I know I paid good dollars and good money for my phone. I have a great phone, and I would love to be able to get a little more out of it. So I think that that's something that resonates, and we've been doing focus groups and studies, and people really resonate with this whole messaging, and they're very excited to be part of this. And there is a psychological principle. Once somebody has joined or become part of something, they oftentimes want that to be successful most of the time. So people root for the team that they are either on or are associated with, and they do what they can to help that be successful. So as we bring more members in the network, the collective karma and good vibrations of this will just empower us to be more successful. And with projects like this, oftentimes the biggest challenge is the technology, but we have a really great roadmap for that, which we'll get into. And if you just think about the value of this network, apps are generally valued by eyeballs. The more eyeballs on your app, the more valuable that it is. You will need to install an app on your phone in order to be part of the Promethio network. This is what logs you in. This is what tells us when we can use your phone, when you're not using it, whatever those variables are. That's all lives on an app. And just objectively looking, if a third party were to value a particular app, they're going to do it based on the amount of users, active users, and the engagement of those users. So not only is this valuable, the network valuable based on the services that it's providing, but it's also valuable simply based on the fact that it's an app. And all this goes into that intrinsic value of the Promethio token. So that unlike many other coins and tokens out there, this has real value that is behind it. So let's talk a little bit about what Promethio needs to be successful. We need users. I think I've made that fairly clear throughout this conversation. It's very important that we get a good number of users in order to create a powerful network that really goes above and beyond for engaging the ability of our functionality to operate. So the moral of the story here is we need users. More users is good. So if you're watching this right now and you're thinking about becoming a member of the network, please do. Everybody counts, and the more people that we have register, the more powerful the solutions we can offer, and the better it is for all of us on the network. We also need a very targeted marketing campaign that's going to drive initial adoption of the Promethio network. So that means very nicely done graphics, very nice marketing that's focused on Instagram, LinkedIn, Reddit, YouTube, all these other things that are going to help drive the interest. And value propositioning the fact that you have nothing to lose by pre-registering for this. And we've got some very exciting things we're going to do together if you join us on this journey. And I think that that is going to help us create ambassadors and first adopters. They're not just going to sign up, but they're going to be excited about it, and they're going to tell their friends and other people about it. And that's what we really need to go back to our primary point of we need to generate a good, strong user base to really maximize the value of the power that we can generate with this system. We also need a strong technical team. And I can humbly say that with my 2 decades plus experience in technical projects and managing and architecting those, I feel very comfortable. I have worked with a lot of amazing professionals, and we are going to be leveraging many of them in this process. So not only do I have a strong team, but development on this has already begun, and we're doing some really great work on the app already. And it's important that we also have the right partners. And so even though we're not asking regular users to give us anything to be part of the network, we are looking for some key investors to help us shoulder the burden of development. And those investors will really have to have a vision and add some value. And so these investors will most likely become part of the board. And so we're looking for very specific skills and expertise that can add value to the network and the Promethio organization, which is going to be the governing body behind the Promethio network. And at the helm of every ship, there needs to be a captain, somebody that has a vision and can direct and keep everybody aligned and keep the passion going. I am excited about this. It's something I've been working on for over 2 years, and I really think that this could be the next evolution of technology, not just for businesses, but for individuals too. And so I am very excited to be at the helm of this ship, moving it forward through this exciting adventure. In a nutshell, everybody wins in this scenario. People who are joining the network earn Promethio with their phones when they're not using them, so they're basically getting something for nothing. The amount of energy they're using is pennies per year. Promethio is providing services to the public and businesses that they need, that is important, and it is an essential piece of operating on a daily basis for them. And then our investors and partners have a chance to be a part of the next big thing in the future and helping us grow Promethio the right way by leveraging their expertise and technology. Henry Ford was a visionary, but he knew that he did not have the expertise to be successful. And he had a vision, and he had ideas, and he had objectives, but he had an expert in every field that he would rely on to provide him what he needed to succeed. And so every good leader needs a good set of generals behind them, and I'm very excited to be working with those people. In conclusion, Promethio is poised for success with a unique concept that really hasn't been seen elsewhere, coupled with the ability to provide valuable services to businesses, governments, and individuals. And the fact that regular users can use this, there's nothing that it costs them to participate. If they've got a smartphone, they can get in it, they can enjoy it, they can take advantage of it. And they're not playing the lottery game where if you are mining another cryptocurrency, you don't know what you're going to earn. You might win, you might not. You know that if you log into the network, you will be compensated for your time. And when people start hearing about this and they start understanding what this opportunity looks like and they see there's no cost, they're not going to want to miss out, which means they're going to want to sign up, especially if they can get some tokens just for pre-registering. And once they participate, they're going to want to promote it. And this is going to help us drive that user adoption. So by leveraging strategic marketing and making sure that our app is valued based on eyeballs, which is another big selling point here, we will be successful. And our development team has already started working on this. So this is your opportunity to be part of one of the next big breakthroughs. And do not let the current cryptocurrency blockchain environment discourage you when you can see quite clearly that this unique concept is poised for a big revolutionary step and the maturity of blockchain technology. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this insightful. If you have time, please go ahead and review the rest of the website and download our white paper. Take care.